Hello fellow tacticians and welcome back. I know it has been a little bit since I have recorded a video. Unfortunately, work has been keeping me busy with 12-hour shifts, so I'm finally getting around to recording something new. The Zero to Hero videos that you've seen going up lately are a little older, so you might see a few differences here in the clean account that we're going to be demonstrating. But today, I want to be talking about a quick, down and dirty, beginner's priority list for farming champions and prioritizing champions on new, fresh accounts, free to play, and then kind of stepping it up throughout. I'm going to show you my priorities on the clean account, the second account, the alt account as we've been calling it, and then also my main account, as you'll be able to see kind of where my priorities align, and you'll see some kind of similarities between the three as we go across, because some of these characters are staple, some of them are super easy to get, and definitely you're going to want to invest those resources into them. So let's first start off. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a technical malfunction, and by technical malfunction I mean we had a dog step on a cable that they shouldn't, and I had to re-record this video. But we did do the spinning wheel of decision to announce who won the 50 sub giveaway, and there you have it right there, and a super big early supporter. I'm really glad that it went out to her. So, hey, everybody, round of applause, and I'll be messaging you for you to collect. So, once again, everybody, thank you so much for helping me get to that 50 sub goal. I think we've climbed all the way up to 65 and going, so keeping the channel strong, and hopefully I'll be able to give you the content just as strong as well. With that being said, eventually I kind of want to be able to do a little bit more of an edited approach, get it a little bit more clean, instead of just me yelling into the mic and kind of having whatever's going on in my computer here. But with that being said, let's take a look at some of these priorities over here and kind of what champions you're going to want to prioritize to really get the most out of your roster, and then also what things that you're going to want to farm, gear up, and kind of how you want to best spend your daily resources and your guild resources. So let's take a look here over on the far left on the clean install. You'll see that right now my top 5 characters are going to be Aleph-Null, Bellator, Sark, Vero, and Varo, I guess, and then also we have Vindicta here as well. These are all characters that are free to play, and you should get theoretically pretty easily. Go ahead and sub out Sark for our good old boy Imospekh here. And the reason is because obviously with the event no longer active, then Sark is going to be a lot harder to get. But Bellator, right? Let's start off from kind of what I'm going to be prioritizing, and you'll see here my Bellator on this account is stronger than my Aleph. My Bellator on this account is stronger than my Aleph, and I'll talk to you the reasons why. But Bellator, you get him handed to you, gift wrapped. I think maybe the second or third character that you get in this game, right? Handed to you in the campaign. Unfortunately, you get him at common, but, you know, not a hard character to farm up. And I definitely recommend each day doing these mirror battles when you get them, and doing these campaign battles when you get them as well, to really take him all the way up. You can see here on the second account that I have, I prioritized him all the way to rare. And was able to get him there for my raid team and maxed him out, right? Over here, I have him at gold 3. And you can kind of see the incrementations of how powerful this character gets, right? Look at these summons here across the board, right? You have level 14, 25, and 41, respectively. All the way at 14, it's super humble, 256 health and 47 bolter damage, all the way up to 41, where it's 441 bolter damage, right? But the big thing that I want you to take a look at, and why he's such a good character, is because he's one of the required 3 that you're going to need for the Indomitus campaign. That's number 1. That's the bread and butter. That's the easy money, right? But also, he's going to be useful for the Imperial Onslaught. Absolutely menacing. You wait 3 rounds, you go ahead and drop 5 interceptors in there, boom, you clean it up, and then that's really all she wrote. Guild raids, right? Even the raid boss himself, and actually I just think we just killed Gaz on this difficulty, so unfortunately won't be able to show you that. But Gaz is one of those bosses that says, I don't like summons. Bellator doesn't care. Last round, he dropped all of his Inceptors in. On my main account, boom, we're dropping 30, 35k damage on that hit because he synergizes so well with Eldryon, who's another character, of course, we're going to be talking about, right? But Eldryon, the 6 hits, each hit will apply the Doom passive. Each hit will apply different passives here and there as they're applied. So definitely, Bellator, farm him up. Make sure you're prioritizing this character if you're new to play, 100%. Let's go back into it. And mind you, I'm going to be talking about characters that you're going to get handed to you, gift wrapped. And then we'll move into the other characters that you're going to have to put a little bit more effort into and kind of drop your currencies, right? But Aleph-Null is going to be another character that you'll pretty much get gift wrapped to you as you do the campaign, as you do the missions, right? And the reason that I put Aleph as such high priority for really big 2 reasons, but, you know, you can go 3 or 4 into the hole. 1, Indomitus Mirror. All your other Necrons can be absolute garbage. As long as you're able to keep them alive, you're fine. Aleph-Null comes into the game, swarms the map with scarabs, is tanky, does decent damage on his own, and is really going to carry that campaign out for you. But then we start talking about my favorite mode, guild raids, right? He really comes to shine there too on Mortarion. I still use my my Aleph-Null on Mortarion on my main account. That's why he's prioritized so high, and I want to get him all the way up to Diamond. Might even be... maybe not my next diamond. I think next diamond will probably be Thaddeus. But definitely freaking close, for sure. So Aleph-Null, definitely going to be important for your roster. But also, your Xenos Onslaught, going to be 100% crucial there. You're able to protect your scarabs. They swarm the map. Sometimes you get enough scarabs and you protect them well enough. You just hit skip, skip, skip. Your scarabs do everything for you. They'll do all the work. You just lay back and relax. Legendary release events, right? Necrons are going to be required for, I think, 2 of them right now. I think Anshi and Jane Zar. I might be mistaken about that. Don't take that as gospel. I know it's definitely one of them, and I think it's Anshi. But yeah, required there. And then also, anytime that you're able to bring Aleph-Null into a legendary release event, do so. Those scarabs run the map for you. Absolutely. And then Arena, too. Even at the lowest levels, I'm sure you've probably ran into an Aleph-Null, and if you don't have a multi-hit champion like Bellator, like Vindicta, or something of the sort, you're in for a bad time. Absolutely in for a bad time. So, Aleph-Null. Prioritize your Aleph-Null, for sure. Now, here we're going to get into some slight delineations, right? If you don't have a better option, and even if you do, like I've mentioned in previous videos, one of my guildmates, Limfindingi, I hope I pronounced that right, he's still running Vindicta all the way at a top 10 guild level, right? And this man does absolute great damage. Definitely top 5 in our guild for sure. And he runs Vindicta still. Now, I don't really prioritize my Vindicta on these other accounts, and I'll explain why. But for my Queen account, I 100% will be prioritizing Vindicta. I don't have another great hitter on this roster. The 4 flame damage, the heavy weapon proc make her really great for both campaigns and also guild raids. The only issue with guild raids with Vindicta is you need to be very careful about your summons and the people that you have adjacent to the boss, because she does that AoE splash damage and it is friendly fire. So keep that in mind and be careful with that for sure. Now, I don't prioritize her on the other accounts because I have other characters that do their job better, right? I have Volk on this account, I have Roswitha on this account, and I have Yarick on this account. And then over here I have pretty much everything, right? Malgan Ra, Ravos, Thaddeus, Roswitha. Naturally, I'm not going to prioritize her because, in my personal opinion, other characters do aspects of her job better. And you also don't want to run 2 Adeptus Sororitas because their passives are linked. The Act of Faith is linked. So if one gets the crit, then that crit is reset for the others. So something to keep in mind there. So those are, in my personal opinion, the biggest characters that you're going to get for free that you want to prioritize for the guild raid aspect, and then also multiple facets. But I know I've talked about him a lot, is Imospekh. Not really prioritized too highly on my other accounts. Only really on these other 2 because of the campaign, right? But Imospekh, he is a 6 times hitter. And we know that synergizes well with Eldryon. So if you don't have Volk, if you don't have Ravos, if you don't have Malgan Ra, Imospekh is going to be a great character for you to prioritize. So 100% do so. And you get him for free, right? We talked about that. You get him for free pretty much as you do the missions. And Indomitus Mirror gets unlocked for you. It's going to be one of your biggest damage dealers for that campaign mode. So definitely make sure that you give him some love for sure. The last character that I'm going to talk about that you get handed to you for free is going to be Angrax. And if you look across, I have him prioritized pretty highly because he's going to be one of the required 3 that you get and will need for the Fall of Cadia campaign. But also at the same time, he's going to make your Chaos Onslaught easy mode. You park him next to a spawn mode, things come out, you smack him. It's super great. He's also super tanky. It has uses for PvP. There's characters that do it better, let's be real, but also legendary release events. He's got, so campaign, PvP-ish, and then also definitely legendary release events. Angrax is a monster. His passive here is great. You do have to get him to uncommon before you get it, naturally. He unlocks at common, but he's free. You do Onslaught enough times, which you should be doing, you'll get this character. So, Angrax, highly recommend you give him some love. Now, just because you get them, right, go ahead and make sure you give a little bit of love. You don't have to do a lot. Just make sure they're relevant and they don't die in one hit if they're looked at wrong. Your Certus, your Varro, your Makotep as well. And then those are going to be the big ones for the basic campaigns, right? You want to try to get as many 3 medals as possible. So, that's all the characters that you get for free without spending currency. Now, let's take a look over here and go into the guild shop, right? I personally believe I made a mistake, and I'll admit it. I think that I should have prioritized Archimatos before I prioritized Eldryon. And the reason is because there's so many gear upgrades that you get from the Fall of Cadia campaign that having Archie ready and good to go might transition better into getting Eldryon second. So with that being said, kind of do whatever you want to do, right? If you immediately want to jump into the raids, you want to go in there and do the most possible in the raids as soon as possible, prioritize your Eldryon. If not, go for the Archimatos first. However, once you have both of these characters, gear them up, get them ready, because they're going to be absolutely critical for campaigns and raids. So let's take a look once again across what I'm doing in all 3. And if you look, I don't have Archie on my clean account, unfortunately, right? But look at my alt and my main account. Number 3 on both. There's a reason why. He is a great summoner. He's great for PvP, required for Fall of Cadia campaign. But also at the same time, the guild raids, right? His summons, the bloodletters, are crucial for killing, what's the word I'm looking for? Psychers, there we go. Psychers, and let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. Let's find an easy-ish arena battle right here, and I'll show you what the bloodletters do. Unfortunately, I don't have the stat page pulled up right quick for him, but we'll go ahead and skip this turn, and we'll just kind of set ourselves up to show you the bloodletters as fast as possible. So, bloodletters, right? They have 1 times attack, right? However, if you read their passive ability, has 1 additional hit when attacking an enemy psyker in melee. 1 more additional hit against an enemy that has moved into contact with that turn. 2 of the guild raid bosses are psychers, so you can imagine that plus Eldryon shreds. And you saw what I did to his Harkin. Absolutely eviscerated him, right? But not only that, Archie has great synergy with Commander Yark, or Commissar Yark. And the reason is because when these bloodletters die, all 5 of my normal characters are alive, right? My bloodletters just died. I got the max summon on my guardsman right there because of that. So, with that being said, you can see how some of that synergy can really be beneficial for Archimatos and why he needs to be prioritized. So, definitely a great character to have. Definitely want to be giving him some love, right? And, you know, I've seen it a lot. A lot of people have kind of criticized my negativity towards Incisors. While I still think that he is not the most optimal character that you can go for, he's not entirely useless. He has the one shot or the one hit modifier for legendary release events, but also he's a healer that's decent for a campaign. I just think that he can be out prioritized in so many different regards. But with that being said, let's hop back into it. The number one raid character, period, you knew it had to be coming Eldryon, right? And like I said earlier, you can figure out how you want to prioritize between him and Archie in the shop. That is entirely up to you. Personally, I think I should have gone for Archie first, but I'm so close to getting my Eldryon here that we're going to finish that up. We're going to get him first. I should also watch that ad before the day expires and make sure I spend my token again. But yeah, you can see down here we're, I think, 107 out of 130. Super close to getting him. But number one character on my ult account, number one character on my main account, right? Look at this. All enemy units exactly 2 hexes away take 898 damage when attacked. That is per attack. So that means my Bellator could be level 1. If it hits an enemy unit with his attack, he is doing 6 times 898 at least. Shredding things, right? So an absolute menace, absolutely prioritize Eldryon for raiding. PvP, kind of garbage, required for the SH campaign, right? So definitely some aspects there. So those are all the characters that you're going to get for free / need to spend a little bit of currency for. You are going to get some of the orcs, right? You're going to get the orcs from the salvage run. You're going to get the daily login, right? And yes, there's benefits to those characters. Definitely need them for the Octarius campaign. But kind of like Aleph-Null carries the Indomitus Mirror, Boss Gorgorts is going to carry a lot of your Octarius until you get to Elite. And like I've said multiple times, I'm not even that far into the Elite. I'm chapter 4, mission 26, and I can't even 3-medal that one. I don't think I've 3-medaled this campaign either, so it gets rough. But let's talk about some other characters if you're lucky to get, right? You might get a nice rec run, right? Speaking of, I've been holding on to this one for y'all. It's been eating at me. I've been wanting to do it. Let's see what we get. Oh, no legendaries, so that's unfortunate. Some Immo shards. Some uncommon orbs. Nice, we take that. That's a little bit closer to Eldryon, so that's good. Some rare orbs, we need those. The game hates me. The game hates me. I've been waiting so long. That is karma. That is some instant freaking karma, for sure. But I did get some Volk shards, so that's something. Ooh! Okay, he was recently buffed, and I honestly think that I'm going to use him for guild raids on this account, because that marker light's going to be real good. I thought the only character we were going to get here was Incisors, and I was real sad for a second. But yeah, so we'll probably use him. I can't really tell you how hard to prioritize him right now just because I'm not entirely sure how I feel about him. I still don't think he's top tier. I think he's better now that Marker Light has been buffed and is able to be used on bosses. So, all right, I did the rec there. I probably will give some love to Darkstrider. But let's take a look at this second account, right? I did get Yarick from a Rec 10. I also got Roswitha, Volk, and recently Ravos. Now, all of those characters are absolutely amazing, right? Commissar Yarick is going to be just an absolute menace for your your Indomitus campaign, and extremely beneficial. Roswitha, look how high prioritized I have her on this account. Diamond 1. because she is the hardest hitter for 2 raids. Any Tyranid and Mortarion, you take her. She shreds. Look at this. Look at this. Condemner Strike at level 17, 230 damage added on to any attack she does. At level 43, 1660. Yeah, that's per attack. Absolutely shreds. Absolutely shreds. So definitely a character that you're going to want to prioritize. And then she also has the percent damage increase that she adds to demons. So yeah, Ra's with 100% prioritize that champion. Over here, we have Volk. We just picked him up. Volk is going to be pretty good. However, if you look here on this account, I only have him at gold 1, and the reason is because we have Malgan Ra, who does everything that Volk wants to do, but better, right? Volk is going to be a 6 times hitter. We already talked about why that's good. And has flesh metal guns, which adds pierce ratio and extra damage. It has a chance to. So definitely can shred and deal decent damage there. Commissar Yarrick, we talked about his guardsmen and why they're so good. You just saw. You drop that on a target, you're shredding something, right? And look over here, level 45. 1,505 damage per, or like, baseline, right? Plus whatever synergizes with Doom. And then I think they are a 2 times hit. So each attack they do is 2x. So baseline, they're looking at 1,300 damage. And if you're lucky enough to have, Marnius Calgar or Castellan Creed, oh yeah. And then if you have Anshi, who can then reset a passive, or reset an active ability, that's pretty good stuff, right? And then recently on this account, we got Ravos. And I have Ravos maxed out. Honestly, at this low level, I took him into the Gazgul raid, and he was the highest hitter across the board, just shredding. It's because synergized with Doom, he's a 6 times hit, so automatically getting maximum utilization out of Doom. But then look at this passive. When attacking a target, deals 3x whatever, right? And plus an additional damage if they're mechanical. 2 of your raid bosses are mechanical. You have Silent King, and you have Gaz. I take Ravos on both of those on both accounts. And then look over here, level 44, right? It does an additional 221 damage plus, at least 400 damage, right? Times 3, and then that all scales on top of Doom. One of my highest hitters for sure. And as soon as I get one more legendary orb, we're taking him to red 4-star. Absolutely. Absolutely. So those are all the characters that I have on this alt account, right? And then let's look at what we're going to be prioritizing here if we got lucky, right? We got Helbrecht. Absolutely giving him some love. Thaddeus, you can farm, and you should farm right now. He's super highly rated, right? And all you need is Cadia campaign, I think, chapter 3? Yeah, chapter 3. Farm this, no doubt. Get this character. He's so damn good. I should be prioritizing him more. But once again, think about your refreshes, right? How do you want to best spend your energy? Definitely on this account, I'm giving my Bellator love right now. He needs the energy, plus some gear to make myself relevant, right? and real quick, let's go ahead and pull up a calculator. I have 133 shards, right? Or I have 33 out of 130. So 130 minus 33, right? Divided by 3. That's the average amount of shards that you're going to get a day, right? 32 days is what it would take. So if I started right now in roughly a month, I would have Thaddeus. Now, you take a look at it. That's 60 energy for 32 days. That's 1,920 energy that you would need to spend. Is it worth it? Yes. But try to go for the surefire things first, right? You will get him eventually if you dedicate and pump into him. But make sure you don't sacrifice the rest of your roster to do so, right? Especially when you could also, want to farm Volk out if you get your Falacadia Mirror done. Which is another point that I want to make too. Thaddeus is going to be absolutely required to do these other sub-campaigns, right? Like you need Sybil, you need Cut Skoden. Honestly, if you unlock them, get them to the bare minimum possible to be able to survive the solo campaign battles, right? Pump into Thad, but you're not going to want to pump into these guys, right? They're not really worth it. So, I know I didn't have a lot of formula to this. I was kind of all over the place, right? But once again, a quick recap. The free characters that you get: Bellator, Vindicta, Aleph-Null. Make sure you gear them up. Prioritize into them. Give them some love, right? Give them some love with gear. Give them some love with some refreshes. Or I'm sorry, with some shards. If you get lucky, right? Or I'm sorry, actually take a step back. Also make sure that you give Angrax a little bit of love, and Imospekh if you have nothing better. Then prioritize either Archi or Eldryon with all of your guild tokens. Until you get them, don't spend guild tokens on literally anything else. Until you get both of those characters. Otherwise, you're hurting yourself. Now, if you get some of these other characters, right? Roswitha, 100% top of my list MVP, right? I'm sorry, not Eldryon. Volk, right? Ravos. Give some love to Thaddeus, 100% if you get him, right? And there's other characters too. Like, I love my show still. I want to give him some love. I think Abraxas is really fun. But where are your priorities, right? Like Celestine. I just recently got Celestine. But unfortunately, she's one-dimensional character. She's going to be for my arena team. I'm going to get a silver 1 for team tournament arena. And that's it. That's it. So, take a look at some of these priorities. And as always, if you have any questions, please shoot me a message. Send me your roster. I love answering questions. I love helping people out. I want to make sure that everybody gets the maximum experience from this game possible and level up the community as a whole so we can all just start kicking some ass. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for helping make this channel possible. Thank you so much for your views. Thank you so much for your feedback. And as always, shoot me questions. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see anything. And until next time, peace.